What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, fresh from the trip to the Molineux. Absolute last-minute smash and grab from Jan Vertonghen. This is our player ratings. Let's get straight into it. Starting with Paulo Gazzaniga, we gave him an 8. Absolutely match-winning save at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, from the free kick.
Sublime save with one hand diving to the right. Apart from that, he did make some good important saves and also some good distribution to go with it as well.
Yeah, credit to him, man. I think he's done such a good job since Hugo's gone out, and also you look at that stat, the save percentage, one of the highest in the Premier League since he's come into the team.
77% or something,
and it's probably higher after yesterday. Yeah. So you've got to give him a lot of credit, and he did well yesterday. All right. Next up, Jan Vertonghen. We gave him an 8. Look, there's no, you can't come or get away from it. He had a torrid time against Adama Traore yesterday, but time after time he was exposed on that right hand side, but he stood up to the challenge more often than not. I thought Adama Traore, obviously he got the better of him a number of times, but he stood strong. He got help from his teammates, and I thought at the end to have that ability to guide that header, and what a header that was! And it was quite far out as well, to get it in that bottom corner, to generate the power that he did. Fantastic stuff from Jan Vertonghen. I thought for him to have the last laugh in that game says a lot about his character.
Super Jan, absolutely sublime header in that last minute, which caused absolute scenes. I can't remember a goal like probably a year ago when Winksy scored in the last minute for Fulham against Fulham. So credit to Jan Vertonghen. You know, he was given the runaround from Adama Traore pretty much all game, and still have the legs to get up like that in the last minute. Absolutely amazing. Which brings us on to Toby Alderweireld. We gave him an 8. I actually thought Toby Alderweireld was absolutely sublime. He had Vertonghen to his left and Sanchez to his right, and I thought he was guiding that defence, and he was everything good to do with our defensive play. I think he was a rock in the middle, getting the ball away multiple times, and just credit to him. And you could see that passion at the end when we scored, shushing the Wolves crowd, and then right at the end coming over to us and just giving us the pump fists. He looked right up for it.
He's got that passion back in his heart. You can see it with Toby, and yeah, you're so right. He marshaled defence brilliantly yesterday, and a lot of the credit that we didn't concede more than a goal goes to Toby for sure. Next up, Davinson Sanchez. We gave him a 5. Defended fairly well, but he's so frustrating on the ball. He's so limited. It's been our biggest criticism of him ever since he joined Spurs, and he just hasn't done anything to get rid of those criticisms of him, because he's just so uncomfortable on the ball. Every time you give it to him, he looks like he's going to lose it. He doesn't look like he wants to have possession of the ball. And in the modern day football, you need all 11 players on the pitch to be good on the floor and to be able to pass the ball. And every time you give it to him, he just seems to shit himself all the time. And it's getting to the point where it's like, when is he going to learn? It's now been 3 years. He's in his 3rd year now at Spurs. Like, it has to get to the point where he has everything for him. He's playing with 2 defenders who love playing with the ball. He's with experience, and he needs to learn from these players, and he just doesn't seem to be getting better at it.
And the most frustrating thing with Davinson Sanchez is he has all the tools to be a top centre back. You know, he's got the height, he's got the physique, he's got the speed. He's just very, very clumsy, and he's just not very good on the ball, and his distribution's not great either, which I think he came with a reputation for being good on the ball and having good distribution.
Having said that, I thought a number of times he headed the ball away and he was defending fairly well, and he got his body in front of things, but you know, when you're at the level that we're at, you expect a bit more than that, you know? Correct.
Which moves us on to Serge Aurier. You gave him a 6. I thought there were some great moments there from Aurier and some awful moments there from Aurier. It got to a point in the game where you just saw Aurier, Sanchez and Eric Dyer all on that same side of the pitch, and just none of them could put a pass straight, and most of them were getting dribbled past. But look, Aurier, for as much bad things everyone talks about him, he does provide good things for the team. He provides that outlet. Okay, his crossing wasn't great against Wolves, but everyone knows that about Aurier. You know, some days are hot, some days are cold. Personally, I think it's probably Aurier's last year until we get a proper right back in. But for now, he isn't good enough, but he's okay. He's okay.
You say that some despair. He's okay, I guess. Jota, I thought, gave him the run around quite a bit. Jota a number of times beat him, and this is a player who shouldn't be getting beat too many times on one-on-one situations, but he was time and time again.
Yeah,
and giving the ball away a lot of the time, which was really frustrating. But yeah, he had some good things as well. But he frustrated me quite a bit yesterday.
Yeah, you say Jota gave him the runaround, but how many times did Serge Aurier make that last gasp tackle?
Yeah, you're right. He'll get beat and then somehow get back in position.
Yeah.
So you good and bad. But that's exactly what Aurier is, Jekyll and Hyde.
Exactly.
Next up, Eric Dyer. We gave him a 6. So close to getting his first goal of the season when he struck the post off the beautiful through ball by Dele. But that was pretty much the only time he looked forward throughout the whole game. Really, really frustrating from him. Playing in that central midfield role when you're a player playing for a team pushing for top 4, and even talking about last season and whatever, talking about title challenges, you need your defensive midfield players to be able to play on the ball and turn and look forward. He just doesn't do it. He plays backwards, he plays sideways all the time, has his head down. Defensively sound, he was, I thought, yesterday. It helped out the team. The number of times he was moving over to Dyer to help Vertonghen out, really
distribution is still questionable though.
I don't even think his distribution is that bad when he turns and actually has a look up. But the problem is he doesn't. And I was lambasting Sanchez before, but he was part of that problem, Dyer, because he kept giving it to him. He never turned. He kept giving Sanchez the ball in positions where he didn't want it. And it led to these really bad situations where we had no control over the game. Saying that, up against Neves and Moutinho, he did struggle a bit, but I thought he defended fairly well. He was part of a good unit, but I need more from him.
Match-saving foul against Adama Traore.
Yeah, he was one of the many players who got booking for fouling Adama Traore, so he did well there in that sense.
Yeah, I thought the thing is about Dyer, you're saying that he doesn't pass forward on all that kind of stuff, but is that instructions from Mourinho?
No, I don't know if it is. I think it's a confidence thing.
You think it's yeah, and also he doesn't really look in shape, does he? I think he looks a bit fat.
Maybe, I'm not sure about that.
I don't think Dyer's back to his best, nowhere near it. But there are slight signs of improvement every game, but it's still not good enough, is it?
Yeah.
Moving on to Moussa Sissoko, we gave him a 6. Not really the commanding display from Moussa which we've seen in the last couple of weeks, probably a bit below par along with that. But having said that, he did kind of make a few bursting runs, but still it's just the Sissoko which we saw kind of early stages last season, just not really good enough, to be honest. Not too much of note of Sissoko's play, to be honest. Yeah,
he had a good few runs, as you said, but again I thought similar to Dyer, not enough passes forward and not enough looking up, always a safe option except for when he's trying a lung bursting run, and then he adds a bit of danger to his game. But other than that, his passing, we all know, is limited, and it showed with him and Dyer together in the centre midfield, not the best.
Yeah.
Next up, Lucas Moura, we gave him a 7. What a start he had to the game. That goal was one of the best goals you'll see this season, even though obviously we had that with Son last week. But
and then Ali the week before.
We've had some great goals recently, and for him to go past a couple of players and smash it into the roof of the net like he did, people would maybe blame the keeper for not saving it because it was his near post, but I thought it was an excellent finish by Lucas. Other than that,
roof of the net.
Yeah, fantastic finish. Rocket of a shot as well. Other than that, he did have a fairly quiet game, I thought. He had a few moments in the second half where he was on the break. He found Dele Alli, who had a shot on the edge of the box just wide. That was a good run from Lucas. But other than that, he flitted in and out of the game and he didn't get involved enough.
Yeah, I thought kind of Lucas, obviously he started brilliantly with that goal, and I thought his first moment of the game, he looked really energetic and up for it and like trying to cause Wolves problems and getting the ball, trying to dribble it past players as he does. But I thought as the game went on, he just declined in kind of intent and just went down and down and down, and then eventually got taken off, didn't he?
Yeah, he got taken off right at the end.
Yeah, so that brings us on to Dele Alli. We gave him a 6. The good moment, Dele started really well. He went through on goal, I think, in the first 5-10 minutes, which the keeper made a save. And then he played that beautiful through ball to Eric Dyer over the top, which Dyer probably should have finished at point blank range. But apart from that, I thought it was a pretty quiet day from Dele Alli. Not the kind of commanding number 10 role that we've seen of him, where everything good goes through him. I thought he was a bit quiet.
I thought it was actually the second half very frustrating. A lot of the times he was people passing it into feet and he was waiting for it to come and allowing Wolves players to nip in ahead of him, or he was trying a flick and it wasn't coming off. It was one of those performances where, yeah, those moments in the first half were great, and that's Dele Alli's best, but then I think we did see Dele Alli's worse in that second half when he was just at his frustrating best. He was giving the ball away time after time, not helping Spurs in possession, keep hold of the ball and build some momentum, wasn't allowing that to happen. And I was a bit frustrated by him in the second half. Next up, Heung-min Son, we gave him a 5, probably one of his quietest games of the season. He was involved in the first goal. He had a shot which was parried by the keeper, which led to Lucas Moura scoring. But other than that, on the left hand side, Doxy had him in his pocket. He couldn't get away from him, and he couldn't get those runs in behind. A number of times that second half, we were looking for him in behind, and he nearly got away with it once. But other than that, it was never really that close, and he had a very, very quiet game.
Yeah, the thing is about Son, like you said, Doherty did have him in his pocket, but I felt defensively he could have helped out Vertonghen a bit more. I felt Vertonghen was crying out for help pretty much the whole game, and I thought Eric Dyer and Heung-min Son could have done a lot more to help him.
I thought it was a deliberate tactic to leave him up the field, though. I feel that because he was the only one with pace who likes to run in behind, and he was the only one likely to catch balls out on the counter. So I have just got a feeling that Son was kind of half cheating a bit and wasn't completely tracking back all the time, because if he was, then we would have nothing going forward, no kind of outlet. So that's my feeling with that, but maybe I could be wrong.
Yeah, but the thing is, even if that's true, then you got to look at the game and say we're being rinsed down our left hand side literally every time by Admar Traore, Vertonghen, aging legs. He has to have some help, and if the manager doesn't see that and we can all see that, then who's going to see it? Which brings us on to Harry Kane. We gave him a 6. I thought it was a good focal point up front for Harry Kane. He was hustling and bustling all game, backing into defenders, making himself a nuisance. But he found it hard with the back three of Wolves constantly on him, and not much space to move up front as well. So he was coming deep a lot, trying to make things happen. But all in all, it didn't really come off for him.
Yeah, he had a couple moments. I thought he had a couple times where he was dribbling past goal players. He was looking sharp, but it was a thankless task with him up front. A lot of the times we were going long to him. He was either winning flick-ons to no one, or he was getting muscled out the ball. It wasn't his easiest game, but I thought he coped quite well. I thought he was a kind of a leader on the pitch in terms of tracking back. I thought defensively he was all over the place. He was one of the players who got booked for fouling Adama Traore as well. And I thought
who didn't get booked?
Yeah, I know there's a lot of them. And yeah, we need to spread them around. But I thought he tried his best. I thought he did a lot of good things, but obviously it was very tough for him out there.
Yeah, which brings us on to Jose Mourinho. We gave him a 7. Lineup was, as expected, obviously it was the same one I picked in the predicted lineup. It was the same which we played against Bournemouth or Burnley, was it?
I think Burnley.
Burnley, yeah. So it was the same lineup. Would you have picked anything different?
No, I potentially would have gone Foyth instead of Sanchez, because I thought he did have a good game midweek, and I think Foyth is just a lot more composed on the ball. I'd like to see him get a run in this new system, see how he would do.
But do you not think Sanchez has improved since Mourinho?
He has improved. I think he does a lot of the running for Toby and Jan, which does help because when you get your balls in behind, he sweeps up a lot. I don't think Sanchez is bad. He just frustrates me that he's a top level footballer playing who we spent 40 million on, and he just can't pass a ball, and he can't look comfortable on the ball. That's the main thing. He doesn't look comfortable, and we need him to start showing some composure on the ball, because it doesn't help the team. It causes panic. That's my worry, and I think Foyth has that composure that Sanchez doesn't.
And also with just on Sanchez for a second, since before Mourinho come, we didn't really see an improvement in Sanchez since he's joined, have we?
No.
So that's the worrying thing about him, for being such a young defender and you don't see signs of improvement, that surely brings alarm bells.
And everything's there for him to improve, and so he should.
And then moving on to the game with Jose Mourinho, substitution, Eriksen come on, obviously changed the game with a brilliant free kick which resulted in a corner. He come over. If you saw the vlog, you would know my views on Christian Eriksen taking corners, but hands up, I was completely wrong, and Eriksen did provide for us, which was thanks to Mourinho, so he's got to get the credit for bringing him on, after most fans would say bring on Lo Celso.
I agree. I think he deserves a bit of credit for that. The only thing a bit of criticism you give him is he had the whole Vertonghen situation going on the whole game, and everyone could have seen it was going to happen before the game. It did happen in the game, and then he didn't really rectify it throughout the game, except for maybe instructing his teams to share the yellow cards around and fouling Adama, which should kind of work at the end of the day, because we restricted him to 1 goal, and we end up sneaking a win. So it was a proper Mourinho kind of win. You felt like kind of
shithousery at its finest.
Keeping in the game and then getting that late goal. That's how Mourinho has done things a lot of the time throughout his career. So nothing out of the ordinary there, but I think he should have rectified that Vertonghen situation soon. I'm not, though. How do you do it? Put on Rose, maybe. It's a difficult one.
But maybe you just change up. So you bring a right back in, like let's say play Foyth at right back, but keep him back, and drift him into a back three, and then the left back can bomb it forward. So you just change it round like the way that we're usually doing it.
Potentially it could have worked there.
Anyway. Yeah, so all in all, absolutely brilliant and vital and massive 3 points.
It can't be understated how big those 3 points are. To go away, a team like Wolves lost one of the last 18 in all competitions, one of the last 11, unbelievable. And
at this time in the season as well, which historically under Poch we always used to come to light, didn't we?
Yeah.
And go on massive runs around the Christmas period. So if we can build this confidence and take it into that Chelsea game, this could be a pivotal moment in our season.
If we can beat Chelsea, then wow, we're in for it for this second half of the season. It's going to give us so much confidence, and they're dropping like a rocket at the moment.
They are.
Chelsea, so we've got to capitalise on this.
Alright, so there you have it. That's our player ratings for the Wolves game. Like, subscribe and comment. Tell us below what you think of our ratings. And as always, come on you Spurs!